Righty ho, Lions fans, welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 549, Victory Edition. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. It's always a victory edition when we go live. And I'm your host, Chris. With me is my good friend and co-host, Ash, the man Thompson. How you doing, brother?
That's me. I'm doing great. How you doing, Chris?
I feel like it's a win. I feel like it's a big honking win.
Yes, it is. Man, that's look, that's there's not a lot else to say on this. It's like, who played well? Well, you know, everybody. Team record for the most yards in a game. That is in a nutshell exactly how this game went. You know, it's. We can get specific, you know, and it's not just that the offense did really well. I mean, Travis Etienne had 2.2 yards per carry on 12 carries. You know, like the defense came up and just annihilated them too. One of the guys in the Slack was posting something from I think it's some podcaster from Minnesota anyway, basically saying how the Lions were going to have a rough go today, you know, because they played the Vikings tight. Okay, sure.
I made so much money today. Okay, I gotta do this really quick. Where was it? Will the team that left your coach at the gate please come to the Lost and Found? We got a show. We got a lot going on. We're gonna do. We'll talk about the game. We're gonna cover the post-game presser with Coach Campbell. We'll do roundtable discussion and take your calls. We got all that going on. A whole lot more. Ash, are you ready to go, my man?
Let's get it on.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
Oh, yeah. It is. Here we go. Look at that. It's Mojito Day. How about that?
Really? I got a ice cold Coors banquet going on.
I've got a shaker full of mojitos for refills.
Nice.
It's double walled, so it won't melt, so we're good. Traveling man, I'm still not accustomed to having normal blood pressure at the end of the Lions game. Bro, it was wild. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. It was wild. This was the game. This was the game that should have been when Hutch got hurt. We should have had the same kind of just even keel, nice ride kind of time. This was beautiful. And it was, I don't wish this on anybody, but it wasn't us. It wasn't us getting hurt. I'll take it.
Yep.
Christina, love Detroit. Michelle Cox is going to have a hard time helping to identify the Hymns rock hard player of the game. But I'm sure she can. She'll be able to do it. Wanted to see Hooker. Yeah. Wanted to see Hooker score so bad. Yeah, I did too. He had a couple nice throws. I was happy. I was happy with what we saw from him. I'm feeling he can work. He can do a drive or two while Jared gets his those Roadrunner legs taped if needed. Beep beep.
Yep. Yeah.
That's all I can think of now.
Hold on. Did he have more yards than Travis Etienne on the ground?
We can let you know. Etienne had 27.
Etienne had 27. And Goff only had 21. So,
so
disturbingly close. Yep. Look, one Jaguar did have more rushing yards today than Jared Goff.
And Jared Goff had more than the rest combined.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I gotta tell you, I made money. I made my money today, boy. I made some real money. I bet a couple. I like a 325-yard passing game. I was like, you know, he hasn't. He's due. He's gonna. Oh yeah, it turned up. God, I love it. I love a game like this. There's so much to talk about, and there's almost not a lot to talk about because it was so. I don't want to say easy, but you know, it was easy. Perfect pass.
It was easy
for Jared Goff.
That was like there was nothing difficult about the day at all. Like there was no pressure from the other team really. Like it just, you know, like it. Yeah, you hate to say easy in the NFL, but it was.
Yeah. And what I loved about it was the mentality. And you know this is the mentality leading up to this because this is one of those games where it's a team you can look past. And the Lions did not. As a matter of fact, at the very end, with Hendon Hooker in the game, they went for it on 4th down. They did not let off the gas at all. It was fantastic. Oh my God.
And
Doc
in the chat they're saying this is a scorigami, and I saw a tweet that it was the 1088th scorigami in NFL history.
Ooh. I don't want to blow.
That's
things
wrong.
Out
It's on that tweet, not me.
I don't want to blow things out of proportion, but the Lions will never lose again in my lifetime. Doc Zay, Doc, we might need to get you some help. At some point,
Letterkenny rules,
future.
my friend. Letterkenny rules. This team will never lose again.
At a still, Lamar looks arguably worse than Goff did last week. That's good. I haven't seen Lamar. I was completely focused on this and making mojitos. Yep. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Okay. What's your biggest takeaways from today, Ash?
Biggest takeaway from today. Sometimes guys just have bad games. The offense came back today and they showed you what it looks like when everything clicks. Because last week was the opposite, man. Everything was just 10% off. You know what I mean? And they say it's a game of inches because it really is a game of inches. You know, one guy doesn't hit Jared Goff's hand while he's throwing the ball. That's probably a touchdown drive, you know, and just a bunch of stuff like that last week. And this week, everything that could possibly go right went right.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to see sometimes, man.
The Lions haven't punted against the Jaguars since October of 2020. That's great news. Thanks, Klaslow.
Yep, liking that.
Next week, Michael Gilpatrick is a Lions fan living in Indianapolis. Next week is the most excited I've ever been to watch a game at Lucas Oil Stadium. Let's go. This is going to be all right. And Richardson's getting a little bit of confidence today, it looks like. I haven't seen where they finaled out at, but he seemed like he was playing better. He had found a little bit of something there. I don't want to say I'm not worried because I'm worried about every NFL team. I was worried about the Jaguars, before we played them, but
the thing is now we don't have to be worried as long as the Lions are. And they clearly, they showed up to what could be a trap game, and they beat the living hell out of the team that they should beat the living hell out of.
Yeah. Oh, God, they did. They absolutely beat the bloody snot out of them. That's fantastic. Anceloni, let's talk about him a little bit. This is one of the ones that this is the one that where you can get a little bit frustrated or bummed out about. I don't know where. It sounds like a break. I guess he said it broke, or he looked like he said it broke on the way out. Hopefully it's lower, closer to the wrist than higher, so that he doesn't need a cast over the elbow. Because if it's below the elbow, he can club that shit and go.
Season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. If his whole arm is locked up, that's that.
Yeah.
You know, just like muscle degeneration, yada, yada, yada. It's probably not coming back. But yeah, as long as he can keep the mobility, everything should be fine long term.
Yeah, which is just on the Hutch thing, you people that saw him in the pool, just so you know, yeah, that's he's right back at it. But you talk about muscle atrophy, that's exactly why he's in the pool. And if you think about it, I mean, he's in water up to his neck. It's not like it's waist deep. He's putting fractions of weight on that leg, right? I mean, this is while it's good to see, it's absolutely good to see. He is, and it's probably salt water, so he's even more buoyant, right? I mean, it's
should be.
But,
anyone who's done any water rehab knows exactly how much of a difference it makes to be in that flotation.
Yeah,
like it's night and day, man.
Yeah, 100%. So we got that going on, but it's still good. And the fact that he's able to work those muscles, this is one of the things Dr. Liao talked about. I think we're seeing the transition of human to Terminator, but I think this is one of the things that's helping people accelerate their rehab, and it's keeping the muscles from atrophying while they're injured or while they're down and can't be active. They found ways to do that. I mean, medical science is absolutely incredible.
Well, it used to be. I remember, like in the '90s, when you like popped a ligament or something like that, they would actually tell you not to work out the other leg because you didn't want to build an imbalance. When what they've discovered now is that no, you want to work out the rest of your body as much as possible because then hormonally it's preventing the muscles that aren't working from atrophying. Like it's crazy how different everything is now.
Have you heard how they make hormones? It's a breakthrough. Never mind. It's an old joke. It's a bad one.
God, my wife told me a joke like this earlier this week. Yeah.
It's a bad one.
But it was what's the difference between a blah and a blah, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Blada, blada. You
Same
put
joke.
sand in the Vaseline. That's all right. Need to get Hutch a tan. Okay, fine. Mac Jones, he was the one to crap his pants today. That's absolutely right. Today was the Jaguars' worst loss in franchise history, beating out the 44-point blowout in 1995. Good question, HPP, and I want to toss this to Ash first. How do we feel about Za'Darius now, or so far?
Well, you got a sack. I was very concerned, like when he went down and the look that was on his face and the sounds it looked like he was making. That was deeply concerning.
Like he was making.
Well, you couldn't hear him. They didn't have a mic on him. It just, like you look at the guy's face, like unless he was just silently going, like it looked bad, is what I'm getting at. And then he was back on the field like 2 drives later. So turns out not so much. And they only credit him with half a stack. So that was it today. So
whatever, half a sack, loser,
Yeah.
Bill.
Okay, yeah.
Look,
But
if he gets
half a sack we would not have got.
Nah,
Yep. And Pro Bowl, man.
yeah, half a sack a game is just fine. So we're watching, looking for Coach Campbell to show up for the post game presser. As soon as he does, we will pop him on, and you'll have him. And they always have Jared Goff, so the assumption is that young Master Goff will be there as well, and then we'll see who else gets pulled up to talk. But
He went out last week, so you think they'll give him the privilege of going out this week when he has a lot nicer things to talk about.
I love Klaslow here giving us the sports atlas in the chat. Counting playoffs, the Lions broke the record with the most consecutive games with a rushing TD today, and that's an NFL record, by the way. It's not just their record. That's
pretty cool.
Man, it's so freaking great, dude, to see these crazy. My friend was telling me last night while we were playing a little bit of Call of Duty, like we like to do on the weekends. He was telling me he looked it up last week during the Houston game. He lives in Houston. We were almost the game with the most total interceptions. There's one game that had more, and it was the Lions against the Browns.
Yeah, that was a Ty Detmer game, wasn't it, where he set the franchise record with 7 by himself? I'm assuming.
No, it was before that. It was before
really?
that. Yeah.
Earlier. Wow. I guess you would have had to have a decent defense on our side too to be able to pile it up like that.
Oh man, yeah. So it's always the Lions. This is going to be fascinating, where it's the Lions who have the most embarrassing records, and then some of the most studly records as well.
Yep.
Right? It's going to be a fantastic.
It's one of those things where you almost wish they would have left Goff in for the entire fourth quarter just so that the franchise record in yardage would be this ludicrous, unobtainable number.
Run it up, man! Run it up.
Yep. Which, they did anyway, but that was good to see Hendon getting some snaps. You're not wrong about that. He was 3 for 4 on the day. Almost 10 yards per attempt. You can't really ask for more from a guy than that.
What's the most?
He almost got Allen Robinson killed.
Yeah.
Couple times.
Yeah. He still should have caught it, though. What's the most consecutive games with a broken bone? That's HVP. Come on.
Let's not set that one, man. Because I guarantee that was set in the 20s or something like that, and it was however many games there were.
Hooker, 100% on 4th down right now. This is awesome. I landed. I threw my own parlay together. A JMO, St. Brown, and Montgomery touchdown. Nailed it. Got that one. I mean, I was pulling shit out of my ass last night. Again,
that's where it comes from.
Watched UFC, played a bunch of Call of Duty. There may have been alcohol involved. And I said, I got to get my bets in. So most intelligent Chris in the world at that point is up there throwing his own parlays together. But I cleaned up. I freaking cleaned up today, man. This is awesome.
That's how they get you. That is absolutely how they get you. Every once in a while, you're just in that zone where everything comes together.
Ooh.
And makes up for those 20 times it didn't.
Michelle comes in with the hymns, rock hard player of the game. We're elevating it. It's not the player of the game. It's going to Brad Holmes for bringing in all the talent. That's a good one, Michelle. I'll take that. We'll run with that. Brad Holmes, rock hard. We should be tracking this. Michelle, have you been tracking this, Michelle? I hope so. We should do this. We should have a year-end, like put an actual trophy together and send it into Allen Park for him.
You're like, what the hell is this?
We really should. It's going to happen. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to happen. The hymns rock hard. It's not even supposed to, like, hymns isn't even like, it's awesome.
Nope. And we are not organized enough to reach out to them to try to get that sponsorship.
If anybody want to help, reach out for us. That's awesome.
If anyone knows a guy who knows a guy, they're advertising on literally everything in existence right now. I'm sure we could actually get it.
Yeah, just got to call. Just got to call.
I just want free Ozempic hymns. That's all I want.
If I can get him to foot for the trophy, it's got to be like a 4-foot trophy, right?
Yep. Yeah.
It just shows up like it's bigger than the freaking Lombardi. What the hell is this? Like just something oppressive that they have to don't know what to do with. Gotta call it a special dumpster to get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. We have to make it too big to fit into a dumpster properly.
Because it is, you work the hymns. See, we could do this. We could take this a million ways. Anyway, there we go. Let's talk about the Lions game. Man, that's fun stuff.
Phrasing.
Let's see. Top for tackles. Who else? Brian Branch out there, man. Beastly. Brian Branch still.
Just crushing people.
People out. Panay deserves half a touchdown for launching David into the end zone. Panay out there. He's a friggin' monster, man. I mean, he scares people on the other team, and it's absolutely fantastic. Jeremiah Ledbetter was out there, and he was starting to get all mouthy, and then Panay turned and was like, "What?" And he was like, "Okay, yeah." He just stopped immediately. Panay just turned and gave him like a little whisper in his ear. It was great. Oh man.
Yep.
Klaslow again with the Atlas. Lions have scored 130 points against the AFC South and have only played 3 of the teams so far.
The quest for 160, my friend. That's what we're looking at there.
200. Let's go all in.
Good Lord. Let's set some records. Why not?
And the other side of it is like people talk about, I mean, you build a team that's like, yeah, we got a great safety here, man. We got Derrick Henry. We got a great running back, right? We got a pair of great safeties and a pair of great running backs. Reformed again. Oh, I get it. Comes up with that, but that is an embarrassment of riches. And then you watch Craig Reynolds go down there and just ticking off yards. Sione Vaki just ticking off yards. You can't help but feel good about the running backs, the stable, the whole thing. The whole thing. Jags are gonna be throwing money at Ben this offseason. It could be.
I would not go near that team with a 50-foot pole.
You don't think Khan is good not? You don't think Khan would really set you up for success? Every coach, every year.
There's worse. There are worse. Yeah.
An old Star Trek reference.
Yeah. Oh, I got you.
No. Flip the nerd up a little bit.
I mean, 90% of the people who know how to turn on YouTube didn't, but I understood that reference, my friend.
Although it would be really on, if this could be the game that gets Peterson fired. He loses against the Lions, and then the opportunity
Probably
for Ben
should.
to go there, like it would be, I got him fired, so I took his job, right? Kind of a thing. But I don't see Ben going there. I just don't know what the right setup for Ben is. I really don't know where the right team is that he's interested in landing.
Well, because what are your options? Like the Jets, obviously he's not going there. There's just no way.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody who is even halfway decent is going to want to tie themselves to Aaron Rodgers. I hope Mike McCarthy ends up going there just as one last FU to Aaron before he's out of the league. That's my dream scenario. If they won a Super Bowl once, maybe they can do it again. That's the Jets mindset, right? Like that's how they'll think about that after McCarthy gets fired in Dallas. And you're not going to take the Dallas job because while they are going to give you some run, they don't run through coaches every couple of years. They will never set you up to succeed at all in any circumstance. They will come on just a little close, but they're not going to actually. They never go all in, and they never go all out. So they never rebuild. They're just constantly in this 7 to 9 and to 9 and 7 range. And they go every once in a while. They have a year where they're outside that range, but they're built to win enough games to keep that stadium full. That's how Jerry Jones rolls.
Yeah,
but he doesn't know
range in both
rolling
sides
that way
too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, up or down, and none of that has anything to do with anything that they've done. That's when their division is trash, they win 12 games. When their division is good, they win 6.
So right.
That's the perpetual Dallas Cowboys mode, Yeah. And Miami, would you go to Miami? What's their quarterback situation going to look like moving forward? They got all the weapons in the world, and maybe you can do a reclamation project. Maybe you go there and you're like, hey, you know what? The Vikings are definitely getting rid of Sam Darnold after a year. He did okay up there. Maybe I can run with him, so you can kind of see that one maybe. But he's not going to the Raiders if that's jobs free, just a team coming off a one and done coach. There's just no way. I've heard a lot of Saints talk, but I don't think anybody good is going to the Saints unless they get a 7, 8, 9, 10-year contract, because the first two are just going to be going through that awful cap situation and finally getting it dealt with. And it would have to be contingent on that general manager not being there to keep doing it. Yeah. Because that's what he's done forever. It's the only way he knows how to do the team management bit. It's
so ugly. It's so ugly.
Yeah. There's no good job obvious. You know what I mean? There's no obvious good job coming up. But that's kind of how it works. Was the Lions a good job when it came up? Absolutely fucking not.
But the Lions didn't. The Lions
they made it good. They made it good.
The guys who got hired made it good. And that's the thing. Yep. Dan Campbell wasn't the top of anybody's radar.
Oh, no. He wasn't on anybody else's radar.
Right.
And you get that every reaction to everything he had said or did in the first 2 years he was the coach tells you nobody else thought of him as a possible head coach.
Yep.
But he was the right one for this gig. That's for damn sure.
And you look at the quarterbacks that are coming out. There's a problem with quarterbacks coming out of college right now.
Yep.
And it's because none of them spend time getting coached. They spend time bouncing in the portal, playing on a team, but not developing. And they come to the NFL.
Yeah.
And the NFL, they're expected to be what they were there year one. They don't get time. That's one of the things that Jordan Love got. I think the reason Jordan Love plays as well as he does is because he had time to sit, period.
Yeah.
And I think that's
year one, Jordan Love would have been god-awful.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was even a fan of the guy coming out. Yeah, nobody. He would have been year and a half starter, and then they would have brought in some kind of journeyman.
Yep.
Just to finish off that, he would have been the guy who got unseated by Joe Flacco. That's how his career would have gone.
Yep.
Or enter whatever quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, whoever you want to have. The guy with the beard, I can't remember his name. Fitzpatrick. Somebody would have taken his job 2 years in.
And let's be honest. If you're Ben Johnson, if you're Aaron Glenn, you're sitting there right now.
I think Aaron Glenn is more likely to take the job.
Yeah, I do too. But you're sitting in a place, you've got nothing but time. And frankly, if the Lions do horribly, if they fall off a cliff next year, and they're not going to, but if they do, they can jump then. One of the things they're getting that they're not going to get anywhere else from Campbell is the meetings multiple times a week to the development, the game planning, the situational football meetings that other coaches aren't going to give them. The more they can soak up right now, I mean, there's no pressure. They're winning. They're heroes. The kids are in school. The whole thing. He's a little older, right? He doesn't have the same kind of concerns. You're right. I could see him going.
I think he was Ben's age when he retired from the NFL.
Yeah.
Or close to, right? That's been like a decade. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't see a reason why anyone has to leave. Right? They're in a great position. And again, if the team fell off a cliff, if they figured out the offense, Ben Johnson's still going to be up for a head coaching position. No problem.
Oh, yeah.
No problemo. Because there's always a team effort, and there's always a million things you can blame in a situation like that. There's no rush for him. There's no push for him to run out of here. So,
oh, yeah. He would get at least 1 year of the narrative being, okay, Jared Goff ran out of run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Johnson rubbed the sticks together and got smoke for as long as he could, but there was no fire.
Yeah.
That would be the narrative if the Lions offense fell off a cliff next year.
100%. Oh man. Oh god, I gotta get some crushed ice in here. Otherwise these aren't going to be good anymore. I mean, they'll be good.
Otherwise it goes to a bad end. Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have going on right here? I want to, we got Dan Campbell's going to be coming up here very, very shortly. So we got our eyes on that. Jared Goff, we talked about having a perfect game. Let me ask you, forever we didn't have a 100-yard game. Okay?
Yep.
Rushing game, sorry, from the Lions team. And we haven't had one in a long time from any player.
From the team.
Yeah. Well, now, but
there were years where we didn't have it as a team.
Well, but we didn't have a 100-yard rusher was actually the phrase they use.
Yeah, that was for the longest period, but yeah,
we haven't had a 100-yard rusher for a while
as a team.
We haven't had a 100-yard rusher for a while, but like today, we're about 140 yards rushing with two running backs. You add two more, you're almost 200 yards, right? That's okay, right? You don't need a 100-yard rusher. You can spread it out and get those yards all over.
Yeah, and like what some people would say is that means that running backs don't matter. And what I would say is, no, that means you need more good running backs to be able to consistently do this without having guys get hurt because they're overworked.
Yep.
You know, like 15 carries for Montgomery and 11 for Gibbs today. You know, that is exactly what you want. And like similar yardage on those because of the different jobs they do.
Yeah.
It just
God, Gibbs was so fast out there. My guy.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask
JMO. Like JMO on that touchdown run, man. Like he was jogging for the last 30 yards and then turned around and looked at a guy.
He made me some money.
And that jump into the end zone, just grabbing his crotch, he's gonna get fined. It's absolutely gonna get fined. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Okay, now I want to ask you, did Jared Goff redeem himself and put himself back in the MVP conversation today?
That's a tough one, man. Because, I mean, when you look at stats, it's pretty, like if you just straight up side by side put Lamar and Goff, it's hard to statistically justify Goff this year. Like just there's just so many more touchdowns coming out of Lamar. That's really the difference. But he definitely put himself back in the conversation. It's just one of those things, like when you have a game that statistically was as bad as last week was, it changes the way people think about you. Yeah. Whether the reality actually changes or not. Like we watched the game. We know 3 out of the 5 were absolute random BS. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like who cares about a Hail Mary at halftime? Nobody cares about that.
Right.
You know, 100%. The one that gets knocked out of his hand as he starts his throwing motion, complete BS. You know, and like there's a couple of them that were a little questionable in terms of whether that's even remotely his fault that ball got picked. I take it we got a guy. I see your hand waving there.
Yeah. So let me quick. Barry Eastbrush, mobile Goff, beep beep. Yeah, for sure. Roadrunner was out there killing it today. Frosty Cakes. Sucks to be Anceloni in the bye. Sucks to lose Anceloni in the bye week. It's not our bye week, so yeah, it's We'll see. We'll see what happens. We got Coach Campbell at the podium. Let me go ahead and bring him up and get him rocking and rolling.
It was really the focus above anything else was about our effort. You know, just finishing, man. And man, I want you to be able to turn the tape on and your teammate to watch the play that you're doing and say, man, that guy's finishing for me. Man, I trust that guy. And that was kind of the message is, man, finish for the guy next to you and give everything you've got. And if we can all look at each other tomorrow in the eyes and say, I gave you what I had, that's always going to be a good thing. And they did that.
Can you talk about how you make your mind up, Dan, about when to take key players out? You know, you're up 35-6, you're up 42-6, Jared's still in there, some other key offensive guys are in there. How do you weigh injury versus, you know?
There's nothing easy about it. This is a weird, this is another one of those bizarre things that you're running into. Normally this doesn't happen, and this is like the third time this has come up this season, which, that's a good problem to have. But I think so much, there's a number of things. And I think you want to know that you finish on a good note. You found a rhythm, you keep the rhythm. Okay, now the time says, let's get them out. What's hard is you're playing pretty good, and then you take this dip, and then it starts to taste bad. Okay, now we pull them out because we don't get anybody hurt, and then does that bleed into the next week? And you're playing. So some of those come in, and I think you just got to feel it out. And that last one, I told those guys, after the last touchdown we had, I don't know what it was, 13 minutes left, let's get them out. We played pretty good. We finished on a high note, touchdown. Defensively, we got to stop, and we started pulling guys. And so you got to make the most of it. And there again, even at the end, okay, you pull St. Brown out. We started to lose, A-Rob gets hurt, but he's back. We didn't want to use Brock in there. We had to use Brock again, and so you start playing this. This is, you gotta do what you gotta do to finish the game out. You can only worry so much about it. And even there, it's like you'd love to get Sewell out, but we only had 3 linemen at the game in reserve. And, you take out your oldest guys, your most veteran guys, or the guys who have, maybe are dinged up a little bit, but you do the best you can with it.
Dan, Ben said earlier this week he wanted the Dolphins to get back to its dominant ways, confident they could get there. Were you at the point where you're running out of game balls to hand out in that room? Is it safe to say they're back to the dominant ways?
Yeah, I would say that, look, everybody on offense is going to get a game ball for that. That was, you get over 600 yards of offense, and you're whatever that was, 5 of 5 in the red zone. Third down was outstanding. I don't know how many explosives we had, but we had a ton. And then the first downs, 30-something first downs. That's a collective effort. That takes a lot of guys to be able to do that. But we have, we got power up front, with our old line, and we got some serious juice in the backfield and in the perimeter, and we got the right balance of, electricity and just whatever you want to call it, man. Sledgehammer. I don't know.
What about the defense? So 6 points.
Yeah.
I know they were
170 yards too, only giving up. Got our takeaway. We were talking about getting our takeaway. Kirby got us one, which is great, man. That kind of finished it out for us. Stopped the run. And so I'm telling you, this is a collective effort. Everybody did their job, and when you're able to, get a stop on defense, score 7, get another stop, score 7. You put a tremendous amount of pressure on the opponent, and you put them in a place they don't want to be in. That's hard, It's hard. Let me say this too. Let me go back to that, because here's what I want to. Man, I do not want to let the fear of injury take away from our identity. That'll always be most important to me. More so, the minute you start worrying about injuries, that's when bad things happen. So that's kind of, I'll finish with that one. It was on my mind. Yeah.
You mentioned this is kind of rare. Third time really you've played back for essentially a quarter in the regular season. You guys are beating teams and scoring points at a kind of unprecedented pace, at least around here. When you look at some of the best offenses in NFL history, I don't know who you consider that, the greatest show on turf or whatever. Can you put some historical perspective to this team? Do you think this offense is that good?
I think we have that ability. I really do. I think we have that ability. We have, to me, we have everything that we need to be potent. And like I say, I feel like we're well-rounded. When you're able to run the ball with the big boys up front, you got a hammer like David, and you got electric this man, electricity with Gibbs, and you got J-Mo on the perimeter, and then you've got our rock, St. Brown, who, man, just continues to make plays. You put him anywhere you want to put him, and you need it, he's got it. And then running the whole show is Goff. I think we're, I think we can be dangerous. You know, we have that ability. Because really, we can play the game any way we need to. As long as we're on our stuff, you know, we're on our game, and we're locked in, and we're finishing, and we're, you know, we can... We can do that.
And what's got you, you know, the times that you haven't been able to do that, what sort of got you off that, you know, mark where you haven't been able to do that? You've done it so many times. Is there a secret sauce to this, I guess, that you can...
No, I mean, look, I think sometimes it can come up to matchups. You do the best you can with the matchups you have, right? And you get in a bad spot with somebody on third down, and all of a sudden they get pressure on the quarterback, or man, we thought this guy could beat press. He got hemmed up. It's an incompletion, or Goff just maybe happened to miss it, which doesn't happen much. And then okay, you had to punt it, and then what happened on? Well, did we give up a touchdown on defense? You know, you get one of those where all of a sudden you're down, and things happen in this league. You know, they do. Or what happened last week with we get a ball batted, it's an interception. So those things are always going to be there. It's about overcoming them. But when we do things right, and everybody's doing their job and doing it at the highest level they can do it, and I'm talking about coaches and players, I think we're difficult to stop collectively. Offense, defense, special teams. I think we're a tough team.
You said coming out that we played some of our best football to date. Can you clarify that? Would you go so far to say this is the best performance you've seen from your team since you've been?
Yeah, probably so. For this year, for sure.
What about the total of your time here?
It's tough to say. I mean, I don't know what it was. We played pretty good 2 years ago against Jacksonville here. I don't know what that was, but you know. But yeah, I mean, probably top to bottom, this is probably the best game. I mean, offense, defense, special teams, everything. That was pretty good, man. We did what we needed to do on both sides of the ball. No, he's not. Looks like he broke the forearm, so he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Thanks, guys. We'll have Jared in.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. All right. YouTube's injustice jacking again. I have to see if I can find another one. Man. Okay. Yep. Working the mixology here in the background while we go. I've never actually had the shaker rocking while while we did a show. We'll see how that goes. All right.
That's good. We'll see how that shows up in post.
Oh man. Okay. I showed it a little bit. I'll show it one more time. Gibbs and Monty pop. Oh, I gotta hide my face behind the thing that it shows up. There we go. Look at that. Sweet shirt design. It's good for the kids. It's good for the adults. You got your Sonic and Knuckles popping across. Sweet, sweet little ride. Give it a run. We'll do the thing that we do when we send you those out. Great looking shirts out there. I need to put out a Lions Mixology book. I've got like enough blue drinks to put together a nice little ebook. Maybe I will. Maybe. Let me write off my booze for the taxes.
Yeah. Living the dream, brother.
Oh man. All right. Well, someone said somebody said they wanted me to do Jaeger shot. I will. Somebody hit me with $15 in a super chat or some combination of super chats for $15 and I'll do a Jaeger shot. I got the bottle down in the fridge. I'll celebrate a Lions victory.
Yeah, someone in the chat just mentioned the depth that we have, that they're glad we do. And you remember at the beginning of the season when we were talking about being 7 deep in linebackers that were able to play in the NFL? We're starting to have to play guys that were not on that list of 7 at this point, and it's still going pretty well. You know, like but there was a time where those would have been the first guys in, and now we would kind of be going like, oh, okay, do we have any safeties that could maybe play some linebacker? You know, and again, it's just a testament to the great job that Holmes has done as the GM. Yeah. It just beautiful thing to see.
6 to 8 weeks for Anceloni. They're saying, that's a stinker.
Yeah.
That's a stinker.
At least it's not season.
Yeah.
You know, like that's.
We're gonna be so healthy for the Super Bowl. All right, they got me, Matt. Thank you for the super chat. Bang a shot, baby. And Soccer Wizard pops in right after with another. We will bang the shot of the Jaeger. Big West gonna do one.
I will
too.
just keep drinking my ice cold Coors Banquet.
Let me get the bottle here. Ever prepared.
I didn't have any Coke Zero in the fridge, so had to do something else this week.
Ever prepared as I am to abuse myself. I'll chase it with the mojito, though. That'll be good.
Is there any room in your house that doesn't have Jaeger in it? Just in case it comes up?
Every room I'm in has Jaeger.
Just checking.
Oh, God, the botanicals are beautiful. All right. While I knock this back, why don't you tell me the highlights of Craig Reynolds today? Because I want to give you something difficult.
Honestly, by the time we hit that point in the game, man, I was peripherally paying attention to a lot of things that were happening. It was like, oh, not a pass. But, you know, he did have 2 carries, and the first one was, I think it was the first one was the long one, but he had one long one and one that was not so long, as it were. But, yeah, as far as the rushing numbers, 10.5 yards per carry. You can't ask more than that from a guy who is your third stringer. And then they yanked him and put Vaki in at the point where it was 10-man boxes, and that didn't go as well.
Vaki had a decent run, though. He had like a 8 or 10-yard run.
You know,
there.
5 carries, but 5 carries for 9 yards on the day. You know, like just at that point, it was all the backup offensive linemen that they had. Like Coach said, you don't have a backup offensive lineman for every spot, so you have to play somebody. But yeah, it's 2 yards per carry. At least it's positive, I guess. You know, Amon-Ra had 1 carry for -4, so it could go the other way.
Yeah.
There's just so very little to complain about. Like, a guy I really want to highlight, though, actually, is Tim Patrick, man. Because that guy came in, you know, season had already started, did not get a preseason with this lineup, and it took him a couple weeks, but he just slid right into exactly what they need that guy to do. You know, like, how many plays were they saying things that, like, when the announcers notice that a wide receiver is blocking his ass off for the entire game, you know he did something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it just doesn't get mentioned. And you know, like, statistically, like, 3 catches for 26 yards, that's not going to blow anybody away, but it's 3 catches they didn't have someone else who could do until he came in. Like, that's, you know, those kill shots to Robinson would have been thrown faster and completed to Tim Patrick earlier in the game. It's that same job, you know. It's the old Anquan Bolden job, where you're a 210-pound tight end. Go make that tough catch, buddy. You know.
I like Tim Patrick, and I think he's gonna continue to come into his own as long as he stays healthy. He's gonna continue to find his spot. He works his ass off out there as a blocker, and he did. I mean, when you come into a team, like you said, partway through the season, you got to pick up the playbook, make it work. Thank you very much. Got to mix the dice now. You got to make it work. You can block. You can block. That's the one thing you can do right out of the top. And he's taking that full on. He's taking that full on, and he's taking that role, and he's really jumped into it. And then, you know, to be able to make, he had the one pass catch today. He had 3 total, but the one for a first down, it was clutch. It was just very, very well played. He was wide open, did his route, looked really good out there. Tim Patrick, a good addition to this Lions team, and I think a guy that will continue to grow as the season goes on. We have somebody on the podium, and you may have heard of his name before. Hold on, I have to do something to do.
Is it Yared Juf?
You busted it. You got it. How did you know? How are you so
the one, the only?
All right, let's get Yared Juf on right now.
Yeah, we've got that capability. Certainly, we got to do it for another. I don't know how many games are left in the year now, 8, 9 in this regular season, but Yeah, we got some work to do still, and yeah, but we've certainly got that capability. I think that's kind of been something we've talked about in the offseason is history and how great we can be, and we know the group we have. We know what our capabilities are, and today was a good example of that.
You ever been part of something like this? 7 straight touchdown?
I've been on the other side of that, but no, I don't know if I've done it on offense, 7 straight, no.
What is that feeling like when just everything seems to be working?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. We were moving the ball pretty good. I thought our run game was really good. Our pass game obviously was pretty good too, and everything's working. It felt as if Ben could kind of call anything, and we were going to make it work, and our guys showed up today.
Jared, with all the pieces out there, do you sometimes feel like an orchestra conductor? Like you literally, it seems like you could go any which way you want, and then do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think that's the challenge every week is really trying to get everyone involved and make sure that we're spreading the ball
Broncos
around.
just scored a great TD, man.
I'm not really conscious of it during the game, but throughout the week of practice, you're thinking about it, and then once the game starts, I've said it before, I'm kind of just playing point guard, trying to find the open guy, get it to him. We threw a check down to Gibbs that goes for 53. It's a luxury to have those 2 guys in the backfield that when 1, 2, and 3 down the field are covered, you go down to them, and it's usually good things are happening.
Can you speak to your mindset this week? You talked last week, you said, after coming off a 5 interception game, you have to dig deep. Your mindset entering this weekend, coming right, bouncing back with a game like this.
Yeah.
Can you speak about that this week?
Yeah, last week was tough, but I was confident in the way I played and what I knew had happened and what went wrong and what to fix and all the things, and so I wasn't dwelling on it. I knew I had to come out today and pick up where I left off and then just keep on going, and those guys rallied behind me and distributed to them as well as I could.
We talked to Dan just a minute ago about when in a game like this it kind of gets out of reach, when's the right time to take out your star player, top player.
Yeah.
How do you look at that? I mean, you just wait until he calls you and never think about
Yeah, I don't think about it, nor do I really think there is a right or a wrong answer to that. It's quite the luxury to have in the NFL to be able to take out players ever. So if we're able to do that, great. If we don't, great. We don't care.
When he took you out, did you still want to go back in?
I was good. I'll play if he wants me to. If we're up by 45 or whatever we were, I'm good to take a rest and let Hendon go.
You really found Saint a lot early. Was that just a matchup that you like coming into this one, or is it just a case of he's always open?
He's just that guy, man. I think we did see some, possibilities to kind of recalibrate ourselves this week and get back on the same page where we want to be, and he's certainly a big part of that. And felt like towards the end there we could kind of call anything, and he was going to get himself open, and he came in this week ready to go, and it showed up.
Did you get a sense, Ben Johnson talked about earlier this week that he wanted to get back to dominance, and did you get a sense this was coming?
Yeah, we wanted to. Yeah, you never know. I mean, we that was our intent this week, was to, like I said, recalibrate and get back to who we know we can be. I think, even going back all the way to Tennessee, we really didn't have many opportunities. I know we won by a lot of points, but there wasn't opportunities for longer drives there. And then you go to Green Bay, and the weather kind of stymies you in some ways. And then obviously last week what happened. So we kind of were all right, we need to get back to what we do: long drives, long, big, explosive plays. And it was certainly the intent this week.
Jared, you obviously got unscrambled a few times, but
how about that?
Within the pocket, though, are you feeling the movement, the pressure as well as any point in your career? Just the way you're kind of moving within the pocket to buy an extra second to get the ball down the field.
Yeah, I think so. And our guys are doing just such a great job protecting that. There isn't often times where I do need to move. So when it happens, it's very rare, and those feelings are very different when it's a clean pocket and when there's some pressure. I can tell the difference at this point with the type of O-line we have.
With an offense like this, you guys had no let-up out there. Is there a certain ruthlessness you have to have when you have so many offensive weapons? You just have to continue to pound it and pound it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the reality was
have to continue to pound it and pound it.
That has less wins than us, and we could have played down to our competition in some ways, and
for those times,
not to disrespect them, they're a hell of a squad, but we wanted to play to our standard, nameless, faceless opponent, and that's not just them, that's every week. And I think we wanted to come out and stay on the gas the whole game, no matter what happened. And if it had been a closer game, we still would have stayed on the gas. But we talked about it all week. holding our standard. What is our standard? And exceeding it and trying to push ourselves. And so regardless of our opponent, we did want to do that this week.
Your passing numbers were incredible. The rushing ability. If Jameer is Sonic and David is Knuckles, what does that make you? Are you Tails?
I don't know enough about the Sonic world to know who the third character would be. I'll let you decide, Brad. You can come up with somebody.
You guys, just talking about not playing out of the level of your opponent. You guys have rarely done that over the last couple of years. I guess what do you attribute to always being ready and being able to actually carry out that game?
Yeah, I think just like the internal messaging, like I was just talking about, being intentional about knowing, like, all right, guys, like, our team is really good and we got a chance to go win this game, but not if we don't, hold our standard. It's human nature sometimes to do that, to play down a little bit, and we got to be intentional about it. Our team's dang good, and no matter who we play, we got to raise our level, raise our standard, and I think we talked about too. Like at this point of the season, you see teams. You're kind of in that middle zone right before that playoff push comes. It's like, who do we want to say we are during the hard time? This is kind of the dog days. Those weeks before those last 4 or 5 games post Thanksgiving. Who do we say we are? Are we that team we think we are? And let's go prove it.
The hook and ladder is starting to feel like a normal play. What goes into the level of comfort that goes into a play like that?
Yeah, we ran it a few times in practice and it looked good. And once it looks good, Ben's comfortable with it and we're all comfortable with it. And it becomes pretty effortless at that point to make it work. But there was more to be had on that one, unfortunately. But we executed pretty well.
Can you walk me through just a couple of your touchdowns? The one to Brock looked like he was your third or fourth option, and the first one to Amon-Ra, maybe Jamo took 2 defenders, if I'm remembering that right. So it's sort of an example of what you're talking about, of having all these weapons and everything working together, and kind of how one player.
Sure. Yeah, I think the best way, exactly what you're saying. Like if I get to the third or fourth in the progression, it's a good player. And that's not the case everywhere, and I don't take that for granted. It is something that we have a luxury to do with the skill players we have, and the O-line being able to protect long enough for me to get to the third and fourth progression. It's often a good player that can do something with the ball.
That one to Brock, did you see on?
Isn't it just like them to wreck it? Wreck it! Middle of a friggin' press conference. All right. Jared Goff. There are some pretty dumb questions there. Do you feel like an elevator operator?
Yeah.
Do you feel like a field general? Do you feel like... How do you feel?
Yes. Can you say something that goes along with the headline I've pre-written that isn't a good one?
Yeah. I've got this story. I liken you to a Hostess Twinkie. Can you... It's like, come on. Oh man. Okay, so let me talk about something because Jared he touched on this, and I think it's a really, really good and salient point. He talked a little bit about the dog days and where this team is. Right now, we watched Green Bay struggle against the Bears. Earlier, we watched the Green Bay struggle against the Bears, and the Bears choked out a field goal at the end to lose it. We see Kansas City struggling right now, having a hard time, just not finding themselves. The Detroit Lions are a team that just has this sense of momentum, of unstoppableness, of laser-like focus to just win games. There's nothing, it seems like, that is going to derail them from their mission. It doesn't feel like anything can stop them or get in their way right now. It's a whole different sense than I've ever had with this team. Ever. And even today, like at halftime, for years, you'd be going to halftime like, all right, what's going to happen in the second half? How are they going to find a way to mess? It was absolute confidence.
Yeah.
Man. And the idea of taking the foot off the gas, I don't think a team ever takes their foot off the gas. I mean, they get a little more conservative.
Jim Caldwell did.
Yeah.
Well, Jim Caldwell absolutely did.
He got really conservative, right? And he played prevent offense. So yeah.
Yep. Offense to not let the other team score. Yep.
This team just feels like it's an unstoppable force. I've never seen
Well, yeah.
any other team. I can't even remember a team that's done, even like in the days of the Patriots and in their dynasty. I just never felt like there was this kind of a sense where it was just such a singular focus. I don't know. I didn't live in the Boston area for that, but this definitely feels different in Detroit. This is definitely different for Detroit, but I don't even think Kansas City has had this kind of just maniacal, like, this is destiny. It just feels like this is destiny for this team.
Yeah, like, because the crazy thing about this season, the way that it's played out, in the first 5 games, you got Aiden Hutchinson, complete key to the defense. He's the guy. You know what I mean? He's so good, he's still in the top 10 in sacks in the league, and he hasn't played in half the season.
Yeah.
Like, and five games with him, 4-1. Awesome record. Everything's going smoothly. In the games since he was out, the Lions still haven't lost a game. And there haven't even been games where they gave up a lot of points in those games. Like, you could say, yeah, Vikings, okay, they did give up 29 there. So there was the one game. And I guess you could say Texans 23 is a lot, but that also is complicated by the number of turnovers that the offense had. So, I mean, you can't put that on the defense either. But if your offense is what the Lions' offense is, and you're not giving up 30-point games, you're just going to keep winning.
Yeah.
You know, and that is just kind of the way that it is. Like, because the Lions, in the games where they don't score 30 points, most of them, they don't score 30 points because they didn't need to. You know, like that Lions-Packers game was never close. Like, it never really felt like the Packers were a credible threat in that game, you know?
Yeah.
It just, like, this is just, it's crazy. Because, like, in the Cowboys game, you hate to say you didn't miss Aiden Hutchinson after he got hurt, but it was 47-9.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? The defense stepped up in that game, and they have just kind of kept carrying it. There's only been 2 weeks where they didn't single-handedly win the game because they've kept everybody, except for the Vikings and Texans, under 15 points. And we've had head coaches where the team would have still lost all those games. but this ain't one of them, man.
Yeah. We got some calls rolling in. Let me get a call going. Oops, sorry for all the extra noise here, folks. There. We'll get one in here real quick. Before we do though, I want to just show up and say one more time that store.detroitlionspodcast.com. You get the sweet ass Gibbs and Monty shirts available, multiple colors. It's extra small even available, so you want to get a smaller size for the kids. Hit us up if you need them and you really, really, really want kids shirts. We can put something together for you as well. But those are for sale. Sale.detroitlionspodcast.com. Gibbs and Monty, Sonic and Knuckles, sweet, sweet looking shirt. I got mine on the way already. Caller, what's your name? And did you even drink today with this kind of victory in the offing?
It's Mo from the creek, babe. What you think I did?
I think you're baked.
Hey, you know, since the Lions are breaking all these records, I got a record for y'all today. I think this is my 46th consecutive game being high as hell. So it's a great day.
Mo.
You're nothing if not consistent, Mo.
And of course, number one was right after it was legalized, right, Mo? It was never before.
Right.
100% factual.
Statute of limitations don't count here.
Yep.
Hey, when you go 0-16, baby, you know you got to be high. So you don't take it back to that.
Yeah.
That was a rough time, my friend.
Those are painful times. Those are painful.
Wear with a badge of honor. How y'all doing, man?
Good, Mo. We missed you last week. That Houston game was something else, brother. Everyone was like, "Where's Mo? Where's Mo? We need Mo."
It's Mo's fault. The universe know Mo wasn't calling in.
Since the game was late, you know, I was already blitzed, so I was like, I'm gonna give it like 2-3 times the ring, but then if they don't pick up, I'm coming back next week.
Oh no.
The stamina was low after the Monday night game, Sunday night game.
Dude, I didn't get to bed till like 5 a.m. It was a disaster the next day at work. An absolute wreck, bro. I was just, I don't know. I mean, I was so just high and excited after that comeback. Not Mo high. Now I had to work the next day. I should have been though. I probably got to sleep. Now, obviously, a lot of things going through my head all at once here right now.
I will prescribe you any remedy you need to get to sleep.
Mo, I'm going to be flying through Atlanta tonight. You want to meet me at the airport?
Oh yeah, you can be the most annoying, obnoxious fans in the airport.
They're like, why are they in Atlanta? What's going on? They played at home.
I got you.
Man. All right. So what do you think? I mean, we've got we got next week's game, and then we got Thanksgiving. I'm worried about Thanksgiving, Mo, because we're not doing a post-game show.
See, that's when you're supposed to do it, because I'm going to be high the most.
I know. We got to do the family. You know, we got the family. It's you know.
Right. You know, I think, every game is any given Sunday, and whatever reports you believe that you read about my boy Anzalone, don't believe it, because I just got off the phone with him. We're going to put some duct tape on that bad boy, get him back on the field, and we good.
There you go. There we go.
and a glass of Verner's.
Yeah.
Just pour it on there.
Verner's.
But don't believe any reports.
I got you.
Coming out this week.
You know what? We're gonna. Sorry, Dr. Liao, you did great work, but we got Mo now. He's here with our medical reports.
Be the best 15 minutes of continuous giggling in podcast history.
Hey, just tell Anzalone, hey, pop 2 of these and go in the game. You won't feel nothing.
That's what I was gonna ask. Let me ask you this. Someone, Kirk Morgan says, Dan challenging a catch up 46 points was the best dick move ever. Do you support that message?
Oh, I support it 2,000%. We're those petty guys. Now this is like bad boyish type era right now.
Yeah. Oh man.
It was particularly great because the guy got hurt on the play too. Like he's laying there injured,
right.
And then finds out he didn't get the catch.
Just being a dick. I love it.
Yep. Literal insult added to injury, man.
He's like, at least I made the catch. That's not a catch. God damn it, Jack! Give me a cart.
Right. Ran back to the side like, fuck you, Dan.
He had a prolapsed colon at that point. It was all over.
The James Houston special.
I was going to ask. Okay, Mo, James Houston, Gatorade or shit himself?
Give him the Gatorade.
All right. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. I feel bad for my guy, right? Because, like, it's bad enough. You're sitting around at the house watching some TV or something. You're like, it's just a fart. And then you're like, oh man, and you got like waddle off, like whatever. Yep. My guy's on national television, man. The Sunday night game.
Poor James.
Yeah, because like even if he didn't, man, that's the thing he's known for now.
Yeah.
Right. Hey. But to be memed up like that, you on another level of celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My man didn't leave shit on the field.
Yep. Must be hitting up Pepto, getting on some of them commercials, man.
Right.
Yeah, my guy, actually, you're right. He should actually monetize that.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Frame those pants, sell them for charity.
Yeah.
Little James Houston DNA and dinner all in one.
Oh, you so nasty. DNA.
It's terrible. All right, Mo.
Yeah. How many of y'all pop in today?
What, shits or?
I already know. I've seen you getting it in on the podcast, man. So yeah, this is the time to enjoy this. It's better to be high and drunk on this side of the fence than the other side.
Yeah, this isn't alcohol abuse. This is celebration, right?
Right. Right. Detroit AA meetings.
Yeah.
Where this is no pity. This is celebration.
Oh man, well I'm all in on the Buffalo game. Mo, you got to get up there, bro.
Yeah. Oh, really? No, I'll watch out from TV. It's gonna be like -17. Oh, was that in Detroit?
It's in Detroit.
It's still gonna be cold. You just don't have to care. Yep.
Well, when you get the Mo in your blood, right? You know what I'm talking about. Hit your dispensary. It is never too cold.
I got a new strain coming out called Cold as Balls. We'll test it out at that game.
That's something I would love if we had a strain that we could brand for the podcast. God, the DLP. DLP therapy. Therapy
Right.
THC, right?
Yeah. We're gonna work on that. It sounds like a money-making opportunity going on right now.
Yeah. Oh man! All right, Mo, we're gonna let you roll, okay, brother? We gotta get a couple other calls in. I gotta go bounce here in a little bit because I gotta catch a plane. But it's always good to talk to you, man.
My guy, safe travels. Always good talking to you guys. Let's go, Lions Nation. Let's get this dub next week and to infinity and beyond, baby.
Oh, I love it. Wherever Mo's at, that's where we're going.
Much love, baby.
Oh, you
Talk
too,
to
brother.
y'all later.
We'll talk to you. Love you.
Have a good week, Mo.
Mo from the Creek. Gotta love it, man. He's always a great call. God. Hey, caller, what's your name? And can you match Mo from the Creek?
Absolutely.
What do you got for us, brother?
What I'd like to say is I'm 66 years old. I've been watching this team since I was a child, and I can never remember us being accused of running up the score before this year.
It feels weird, doesn't it? And like they get mad at you.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
And there hasn't been too many times we've been called dirty either, right? Like we've never been good enough to be called dirty other than Sue, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Sue,
individual
when he
players.
stepped on Rogers' hand, yeah.
Yeah, he should have stepped on both of them. In retrospect, I think the NFL will be refunding his fine. Oh, we were wrong. You got it right. Sorry about that. Oh man. So what do you got for us, brother?
Well, I really enjoyed this game today, and I did do a shot of Yager with you when you did that. And I hope you saw my comment and drink out of the bottle because you did.
I did. Yeah, I did. So, Jaeger, if you're going to do it, it's an abuse. Alcohol. It's not, you don't drink Jaeger for the flavor, right?
No, you do not.
So it was one of those ones you just do it out of the bottle. If I had a paper bag, I'd have put it in that first. But,
there you go.
folks,
Yager's meant for shots and nothing else, basically. I remember when I go into Memphis a few times at blues things, and then we'd go there and we'd just do shots of Jaeger all night. Like, it's crazy. I love that drink.
Yeah, I actually love it. I mix it with like Red Bull, like a 50-50 mix, and turn it into a pint glass, like a Guinness pint glass. And that's fantastic. It's fantastic.
What I used to do back in the days, you take 2 shot glasses.
I just drink Jaeger after about 1 million beers.
Yeah. That's how it started for me,
Take
too.
2 shot glasses. One of them's Jaeger, one of them's vodka. You suspend them in the top of the glass. You fill the glass up with Jaeger or with Red Bull right up to the point where it's touching the bottom of those shot glasses. You pull the first one, take the shot, pull the second one, take the shot, and then chug the Jaeger. And after 3 or 4 of those, you're having a real fun night.
You're singing like Ethel Merman.
Yep.
Mermaid. Oh man! So what do you
need
think?
Energy and courage, my friends. That's the way to get it.
What do you think, caller? Where are the Lions going next? What do they got going next game and the week after? What do you think we're going to see from them?
obviously we're going to win the next 2 weeks. We're going to beat the Bears, whether or not you do a post-game show, because it's Thanksgiving and we're due to win one. And about the Jager, I'd have to say that I have mixed it with Red Bull at a wedding a couple times, and I got embarrassed after because I went through several bottles of it. Like it was like I passed out one time with my eyes open, and it was embarrassing.
Yep. That's how you black out. That is a one-way highway to Blackout Mountain right there. Because you have so much energy you can't sleep, but your brain is just not happening. It's a young man's game.
Dang it.
Yeah. My daughter woke up my wife and said, "Daddy's asleep, but his eyes are open."
The best of times.
Awesome. All right, next 3 games. We got Indy away, and then it's 3 home games: Bears, Packers, and Bills. Interestingly, we have the Indianapolis game is on a Sunday, and they have a short week ahead of the Bears because it's Thanksgiving on a Thursday. Interestingly, though, we have an even longer week because the next game is on a Thursday, and then we have a long week until we see them till Sunday for the Bills. It's kind of a juicy little piece of the schedule, especially all at home. You know what I mean? I guess the question is, and caller, maybe you can weigh in on this, for the Lions. Is that too much time between games? Does that slow down your momentum? Does that make it feel more like the dog days, or does that just get you healthy, faster, better?
Well, I think the Bills game will be a tough one, but it'd be nice to get a break after the 2 Thursday games in a row and get a break and get guys healthy again. And I don't know. I think it'd be nice. We need a breather at one point. It'd be like a second break. I think we need that.
Yeah. It's fair. Ash, what do you think?
I think it's nothing but good, man. That's my take on that. It's the Lions got kind of screwed with a real early bye week this year. So the fact that the NFL has kind of given them this little bit of a makeup schedule at the end here, it's the way the schedule maker should do things.
Mm-hmm. give and
like
take a little.
Teams playing on Thursdays should always be coming off a bye. That should just be a rule that the schedule goes by. It's they don't for some reason. I have no idea why. Same with teams traveling over to Europe. That should always come at the end of a bye week. Like it just that's the way teams should do that. The league should do that, but they just don't seem to have that level of wherewithal. I'm sure there's factors that stop it from being as easy as I think it should be. Like it seems like the kind of thing you should be able to just do an algorithm for, and then everything comes out every year without some guy having to do a bunch of work. It seems like it should be that simple. But, then someone doesn't make a couple $100,000 a year just to make a schedule that could be made with a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like the NFL
that's my soapbox for the day.
Yeah, I feel like the NFL is like the king of no-show jobs. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
how many guys are in sanitation / NFL? That's my question.
You get the Colts, which is it's just a 7 days lag, and then you have very shortly after the Bears for Thanksgiving, and then you get a couple of
Chris, we were supposed to trade up and get Anthony Richardson. Don't you remember?
Darn it! But we had Malik Willis instead. That was the thing.
Yeah.
He's running up the score all over the place. Hey, caller, another shot of Jaeger I prescribed for you, but we're going to get going here. We got to catch a couple other calls, okay?
All right. Thanks for talking.
All right. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Later,
good talking to you. All right. We'll see you. All right. There we go. Jaeger really is good for the soul, Ash. It's all about the botanicals. It's health food, really.
Absolutely.
I think RFK would
honestly,
prescribe it.
You're basically a druid because you drink Jaeger. That's how healthy this crap is.
It's the druid fluid. Hey, caller, what's your name and how often have you sucked on the druid's fluid?
It's John from Texas.
Oh, John! Did you see my tweet? I did it on Blue Sky
I haven't seen
too.
your tweet. I you know what? I just got the phone with my baby mama.
I said now is the time for baby mama jokes. Kirby with the baby mama work out there. I mean, come on. Like, all I can think of is your baby mama every time I see Kirby picking up balls.
The streak is undefeated. If he gets a pick, we win.
Yep.
What is it? He's got more picks than any safety this year? or anybody this year. What was the stat they spit at us?
They said any safety since he was drafted.
Wow, man. There's been a lot of safety since he's been drafted. Kirby Joseph, man, this guy is really God. How do you he's got a personality that you can't dislike. He's hilarious, right? I mean, you watch him having guys laughing on the sideline. You've seen him in different clips where he's talking to coach on the sideline and he's serious as all hell, right? He's all in, completely like locked in on the game. This guy seems he can't miss. He just can't miss. Like he's got all the boxes checked. I mean, can we just give him an Academy Award and an MVP right now?
I mean, I think he needs to be a Lion for life. There's too many people on this team that I have to say that about, but he needs to be a Lion for life.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue.
And you put him with Branch. I mean, I don't know. I love Kirby to death, right? And Kirby's got the numbers, but Branch is not far behind. I love Brian Branch. I don't know how the hell this happened. Like, it happened in a blink of an eye that this roster got flipped like this. And this is like schooling the NFL. If the NFL wants to like understand how to turn a team around in a very short order, they need to look at what the Detroit Lions have done in the couple years under Brad Holmes, because the roster and the cap situation that Holmes inherited from fucking Quinn was trash, was absolute trash. And what he's done, I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, they had a run last year. They could have done it. They could have been in the Super Bowl. Oh, man.
Yep.
And then what would your baby mama be doing, away. John?
I mean, she who knows where she'd be, what ball she'd be, working with.
Maybe all of ours. We never know, because that situation hasn't happened yet. But we'll see how it goes. John, what are you looking forward to in the indie game?
Indie game, honestly. So the guy said earlier we put like 130 points up on the AFC South. Let's make it 150, 160, 180.
Nice. Can we give your baby mama a name? I mean, let's not out like let's just call her Hoover. How's that?
The Hoover. Okay, that works.
All right. Because it's like baby mama is hard to say so many times. We just call her the Hoover. We know who we're talking about, right?
Sunday's her day to drop off the kids. So.
All right, my man. We're gonna rock to another call. Give your love and ours to your baby mom, okay?
I'll let her know.
Talk to you.
Yep. She gonna care. She's definitely gonna care.
Yeah, once you start calling her Hoover, she's gonna be like, "Okay, John." if they're in any kind of vicinity with one another, it's like you need to stop now.
Yep.
No more calls. No more calls. All right. Rocking and rolling. We're looking at, maybe we'll do one more call. If somebody hits us here, 248-782-8384.
Make it good.
248-782-8384. You could be the happy ending, the big finish, the fireworks at the end of the show. Give us a ring and we'll pick you up. And as we pick up these calls or find one here, Ash, why don't you give me your thoughts on the game, your wrap, and your look toward what we got coming with Indy.
Well, we didn't even there were so many good things today that we didn't even talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown getting 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's the kind of day we had. Didn't even mention it until the very end here. Like in Jamison Williams, only 4 catches for his 121 yards. We got a caller?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going, Ash. Hey, how you doing, caller? What's up?
What's up, fellas?
Frank.
Hey, Frank.
What's up, baby?
How we doing, brother? We feeling it today?
Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
You got a package coming, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
You got.
I know.
there's some surprises in there too.
I hope so. Man, listen, man. What'd I tell you all? What'd I tell you?
You said these Lions were no good. They were a bunch of bums.
Baby.
You said they were a bunch of bums. They couldn't do anything.
Hell no, dude. Bums will take you to the end, dude. They will fight for you, bro.
Yep.
I got my brother and my son here, dude.
What's up, boys?
What up?
Gentlemen. Awesome.
Hey, I used to drink Jaeger bombs, dude, back in softball shitty days.
Oh yeah, yes, softball city days. I remember talking about this when we first met.
What happened?
What?
Good times.
Frank,
Hello?
you with us, Frank? Okay,
Hello?
You there, brother?
Hello?
You there? Talk to me, Frank. Come in, Frank. We lost him.
Hello?
Hey, Frank, are you there, brother?
What? Yeah, I had a little difficulty there, huh?
It seemed like it. What happened, brother?
Oh, we're happy as hell, dude. Listen, this team is awesome. You ever see those safeties play like that, dude?
No. And it's like every week.
The days of Lawyer Malloy and Betty Blades, man.
Every week I put
I was
money
a
on pick sixes.
210-pound wide side corner, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Look at that shit. 210-pound wide side corner. Always played the wide side. Man, I wish they would have put me at safety, dude.
Oh, I bet you would. I bet you would have hawked the shit out of them balls.
Yep. You guys are doing good, man. You guys are always doing good on this podcast, man.
Appreciate you,
Chris,
Frank.
stay safe, brother.
Yeah, you
brother.
too, man. You keep at it, Frank.
Hey,
We love you,
life's
brother.
like a roller coaster, man. You know that.
Yeah. It never stops.
You know that, brother.
It never stops, man. And by the time if you figure out it did, it doesn't matter anymore.
No. Well, no. You don't. Well, it doesn't matter. It depends.
It don't matter to
That
you.
all depends.
It depends. Are we making a James Houston joke?
Have a great night, man.
All right, brother. Have a great.
Shout out to Mo.
You too, brother.
Creek.
Yeah. How about Mo? Huh? He always brings.
Peace, brother.
You too, brother. We'll talk to you, Frank. Frank the Tank. All right.
That's a good closer.
Yeah, it's always good to hear from Frank. There's one coming in. I'm sorry, caller. We're gonna have to let you go. We gotta close this out now. I got a plane to catch, man. I can't help it. So let's call it. We got a show. Thank you all for watching and hanging out with us for this Detroit Lions blowout victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have another show coming up next week. What does that mean, Ash? What happens when we have a post-game show?
This team will never lose another game.
Till Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's right. We got you rocking and rolling. We'll be back next week. We'll also have a show. We won't have a show this week with the Riz. I'm out. I can't do it from on the road. So Riz will be playing. Bringing
Riz will
in
drop
some videos.
something.
Yeah. Not like
more
James.
work for me. No big deal.
Not like James. He'll drop something different. It'll be valuable.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, check that out. Riz has
I'm just saying I've never seen brown colored Gatorade. That's all I'm saying. That's a flavor I don't think that would be super popular. Gatorade brown. Nope. Dibs out, bro. Dibs out.
We got a problem.
Tell me you had a can of Coke on the bench. Maybe I believe that. That's all I'm saying. Make it plausible. Had some coffee. One of those like nitro cold shots or something. Just
some tea. You're drinking tea.
Yeah.
Something.
There are 1,000 beverages that would be an appropriate color for that particular predicament, and or substance. Maybe not a beverage, even just something.
Tell me you had a boba.
There was some paint.
Some
paint on the bench. Yep.
Something. All right. Don't forget us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. Patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. James, we love you. I'm sorry. I hate. It's just so. It stands out so much. $5 or more on the Patreon gets you access.
Gatorade Brown. Let's get that shirt. I want to see that shirt. Right. That's the shirt I want to wear on this podcast. Gatorade Brown. Let's do this.
Coming soon to a store near you. Gatorade Brown, James Houston. Patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast, the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. If you get $5 or more you'll get access to the Slack. And I don't know if Gatorade Brown is the conversation now, but it's generally a little bit higher brow than that. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at DET Lions Podcast. DET Lions Podcast. Do not follow Ash at Mr. Tweetson.
No.
Don't.
I tweeted something today. I immediately regretted it. So let's carry on with our lives.
It's always that way. Regret. Life is all regret. We're on that
Life
Blue
is
Sky thing
pain.
too. It really is. And I'll look. A lot of people are going over to Blue Sky. It's same thing. DET Lions podcast over at Blue Sky. Give us a follow over there if that's your thing. People are doing.
Red still sucks. Don't look for me.
But yeah, don't look for Mr. Tweetson. No matter where you go, it's a political rally. That's the problem. We can't just have a good time, right? Anyway, give us a call. Skype, Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word, Detroit Lions Podcast, or call us on the Lions line at 248-782-8384. 248-RUB-YOU-FUG. And be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com, subscribe to the podcast, and we'll be able to, well, what do we do? Tell everyone what we do, Riz. Or Ash, sorry, muscle memory.
It's all good.
Wrong muscle.
We will finish the job inside your box automatically.
Yes, absolutely. James Houston style. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast.
Front back Brown.
Remember, no pants because we had to change them out. No toasters because we toasted the backside of those pants. No hot tubs because nobody would get in them with us after that. Nope. And no problems because we are Detroit Lions and Gatorade Brown connection. See you next week.